Members, I trust you all had a great weekend. I hope you did enjoy some time. Before this final week, we have a lot to accomplish this week and look forward to working with you this week. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in this chamber. Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? All members voted. All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? Members, before we go into our chaplain of the day, some of you may not be aware of this, but you know the good Lord has blessed us in so many ways in this state and this country to have natural friends, or friends from nature, I'll say. And there are any number of iconic mascots in this state. But I want to tell you some sad news. Freedom, the Georgia Southern Eagle, passed away this weekend. So this house will have a resolution honoring Freedom. But what a great mascot. Freedom was here last week, I believe it was. So I just want to ask you all to certainly, what an iconic symbol of America. But how blessed we've been in this state to have been able to have an eagle as a part of our family here in this state, and not just in higher ed at Georgia Southern, but representing the values that we're proud of in this country. And I know many of you have had your photos made with Freedom over the years. And he was quite the actor. But I want to just say to you, I know of Freedom meant a lot to a lot of people. And it does mean a lot to a lot of people, freedom, as we enjoy the great freedoms of this country. But I want to ask you to remember Steve Hines. Steve has been there with Freedom over his years at Georgia Southern. Steve is the gentleman that many of you have had the pleasure and the honor and the great opportunity to handle some snakes down at our wildlife center at Georgia Southern. And Steve is the one that helped put all of that together. But really the crowning piece of the wildlife center and for Steve has been his relationship with Freedom. And he is pretty devastated, y'all, because he found Freedom Saturday morning. And so thoughts and prayers go out, if you will, to Steve Hines and his family. So for a moment of silence, if you will, and remember a great gift that God's given to us. Thank you, members. Very much appreciated. As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 53rd House District, Representative Deborah Silcox. Representative Silcox.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. It is with great delight that I bring to you this morning my pastor, Dr. Rich Conwisher. He is the 8th senior pastor of Peachtree Presbyterian Church here in Atlanta. He has been a pastor for over 25 years and has served congregations in Texas, California, and the New York City metro area. He studied at Trinity undergrad in San Antonio and completed his master's at Princeton and his doctorate at Fuller Theological Seminary. He's been honored to serve on the board of trustees for all 3 of those institutions, and he is currently a board of directors at the historic Fox Theater here in Atlanta. We are honored also to have with him this morning his wife, Kelly. She's right here. And Kelly and Dr. Rich actually met in seminary. They fell in love debating theology and eating ice cream as a reward after an evening in the library. Kelly is the founder of OptUp Consulting and is passionate about empowering momentum for organizations and noble causes. They have 2 daughters. One is at the University of Georgia, and the other one is at Dr. Rich's alma mater, Trinity University. Rich loves to read, swim, and run. If you really want a great story, ask him about his hole-in-one in golf. Dr. Rich Conwisher.
On behalf of a grateful state, we are so glad that you are helping to secure the safety of our children. We're also grateful for your faithful stewardship in finally getting to a budget. We are grateful for both of those things. Instead of me offering you words in 4.5 minutes that you will likely forget before your second vote, let me share with you some of the most enduring and durable words in history from maybe the greatest speech that was ever given. When Jesus walked up a mountainside next to the Sea of Galilee, these are excerpts of the famous Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. And blessed are you when people insult you, revile you, and hate you because of me, for in the same way they hated the prophets who were before you. Because you are salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its saltiness, how can it ever be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. No one ever lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket, but on a stand so that it gives light to all in the house. And so in the same way, let your light now shine before others so that they may see your good deeds and give glory to your Father in heaven. For do not think that I have come to abolish the law and the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. Be careful not to practice your righteousness before others in order to be seen by them. If you do, you have no reward from your Father in heaven. And so therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, what you will drink, about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more value than they? And by your worry, can you add 1 single hour to the span of your life? And why do you worry about your clothing? Consider the flowers of the field, how they grow. They do not labor, they do not spend, and yet I tell you, Solomon in all of his glory was not clothed like one of these. And if God so clothes the grass of the field, which is alive today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Therefore do not worry, saying, what will we eat? What will we drink? What will we wear? For it's the pagans who run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. And so seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things will be given to you as well. So do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank that is in your own eye? You hypocrite, first remove the plank that is from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to help your brother with the speck that is in his eye. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. And so in everything, do to others as you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. And so enter through the narrow gate. For broad is the way, wide is the road that leads to destruction, and many will enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Therefore, if you are a wise person, you will build your house on the rock. And the rains fall, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, but it did not fall because it had its foundation upon the rock. But anyone who hears my words and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rains fall, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. And when Jesus had finished these words, they were amazed at his teaching. For he taught them as one who had real authority, not like their regular teachers of religion, like the pastor who's standing here today. May these words inspire us for generations to come. And so, will you stand with me and let us pray? Our gracious and loving Father, we are so grateful for the opportunity that is before us. May we begin with the blessing. May we hear your call to be salt, to preserve what is good in this world, and to be light that shines in the darkness. Lord, we're not here to abolish the past, but to stand on the shoulders of giants of the promise. We do not do what we do in order to be noticed and to be seen and to be recognized by others. And so help us to set aside our fears, our worries, our doubts, our insecurities. Strip away all of our judgment and our hypocrisy, and may we now seek first the kingdom of God, where we do to others as they do to us. And so may you impress upon these your servant leaders to walk the narrow path, to do the hard thing, to not follow the ways of this culture and this world, but to do what is difficult for what is right. May we build the foundation of the state of Georgia upon the rock of wisdom, of eternal words, as we care for the state that you've entrusted to us. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's pretty awesome. The doorkeepers, you may open the doors. Dr. Rich and Kelly, thank you for being here. Thank you for those words. Come back up and join me if y'all will, and we'll get a photo. Members, you may join Dr. Rich and Kelly out in the South Ante room and thank them for their attention, their presence. And
I think they want to sit with
yeah,
okay, they want one. She wants one. Just three first.
we'll get the three of us first. Members, our doctor of the day is also brought to us by Chairlady Silcox, is Dr. John Gleason. Dr. Gleason is downstairs in the aid station awaiting your call if you're in need of his services. Thank you, Dr. Gleason, for being here. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, is recognized. Chairman Hilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It took us all weekend, but your Committee on Information and Audits has reviewed the journal the previous legislative day, and we found it to be accurate and okay.
Thank you for staying with it. Chairman Hilton, the chairman of the Committee on Information and Audits report that's the journal of the previous legislative day has been found and read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Hearing none, the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Administration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill 874 by Representative Hulston of the 72nd, Chastain of the 7th, Fleming of the 114th, Jones of the 25th, and McCollum of the 30th. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 5 and Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to ad valorem taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 875 by Representative Flournoy of the 74th, Howard of the 129th, Beckles of the 96th, Santos of the 117th, Neal of the 79th, and others. A bill be titled an Act to amend Article 3, Chapter 7 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to dispossessory proceedings.
Judiciary.
House Bill 876 by Representative Flournoy of the 74th, Dawson of the 65th, Jones of the 143rd, Herring of the 145th, and Fry of the 122nd. The bill be titled an Act to amend Chapter 7 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to landlord and tenant.
Judiciary.
House Bill 877 by Representative Jackson of the 68th, Basemore of the 69th, Bonner of the 73rd, and Mathiak of the 82nd. Bill be titled an Act to provide a new charter for the city of Fayetteville.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 878 by Representative Bennett of the 94th, Scoggins the 14th, Hughley the 141st, Hawkins the 27th, Cooper the 45th, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to holidays and observances.
Health.
House Bill 879 by Representative Parsons the 44th, Barton of the 5th, McCollum of the 30th, Powell of the 33rd, Scoggins the 14th, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Code Section 46, 163 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to duty of driver of vehicle meeting or overtaking school bus.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 880 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Kelly the 16th, Stevens the 164th, Newton of the 127th, Martin the 49th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 2 of Chapter 7 of Title 48 and Part 1 of Article 4 of Chapter 12 of Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the imposition rate, computation, exemptions, and credits relative to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 881 by Representative Campbell of the 35th, Hughley the 141st, Jones of the 60th, Roberts the 52nd, and Mitchell the 88th. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to holidays and observances.
Special Rules.
House Bill 882 by Representative Huddleston of the 72nd, Anderson of the 10th, Dickey the 134th, and Lim of the 98th. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 23 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to landscape architects.
Regulated Industries.
House Resolution 859 by Representative Lynn of the 98th and Lupton of the 83rd. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on inclusive educational settings for students with disabilities.
Education.
Senate Bill 352 by Senator Williams, the 25th, and Anderson, the 24th. Bill be titled Act to provide a homestead exemption from Jasper County School District ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 867 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Glades of the 67th, Bernal of the 77th, Mitchell of the 88th, Schofield of the 63rd, and others. A bill relating to the Georgia Student Finance Authority. House Bill 868 by Representative Levinson of the 12th, Scoggins of the 14th, Kelly of the 16th, Gunter of the 8th, Taylor of the 173rd, and others. A bill relating to state employees' health insurance plan. House Bill 871 by Representative Anderson of the 10th, Williamson of the 112th, New of the 40th, Clark of the 100th, Stevens of the 164th, and others. A bill relating to authorized investments, delegation of investment authority to financial officer, and instruct an objective of investments. House Bill 872 by Representative Cooper of the 45th, Solcox of the 53rd, Camp of the 135th, Ballard of the 147th, Jones of the 47th, and others. A bill relating to general provisions regarding health. House Bill 873 by Representative Townsend of the 179th. A bill relating to retirement allowances, disability benefits, and spouses benefits. House Resolution 752 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Reeves of the 99th, Glaze of the 67th, Bernal of the 77th, Mitchell of the 88th, and others. A resolution creating the Joint Study Committee on Cosmetology and Barbering Education. House Resolution 753 by Representative Don Tucci of the 105th, Hagan of the 156th, Camp of the 135th, Clifton of the 131st. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Improving Access to Internal Medicine in Rural Areas. House Resolution 754 by Representative Beckles of the 96th, Williams of the 168th, Mitchell of the 88th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Street Lighting along state routes. House Resolution 755 by Representative Scoggins of the 14th, Gamble of the 15th, Kelly of the 16th, Cannon of the 172nd, Prince of the 132nd, and others. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Electric Franchise Fees for Unincorporated Areas. House Resolution 756 by Representative Lynn of the 98th, Carpenter of the 4th, Santos of the 117th, Tran of the 80th, Clark of the 108th, and others. A resolution encouraging the General Assembly to preserve access to safety and justice for all survivors of gender-based violence and human trafficking. House Resolution 757 by Representative Clark of the 108th, Evans of the 57th, Lamb of the 98th, Barnes of the 86th. A resolution creating House Study Committee on Civil Rights Protections. House Resolution 847 by Representative Taylor of the 173rd, Hatchett of the 155th, Dempsey of the 13th, Parrish of the 158th, Stevens of the 164th, and others. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Evaluating Funding for Public Health. Senate Bill 340 by Senator Watson of the 1st, a bill to amend an act to provide a new charter for the city of Tybee Island. Senate Bill 344 by Senator Kennedy of the 18th, a bill to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of Crawford County. Senate Bill 345 by Senator Kennedy of the 18th, a bill to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the magistrate court of Crawford County. Senate Bill 347 by Senator Hodges of the 3rd and Still of the 48th, the bill to amend an act implementing the Brunswick and Glenn County Development Authority. Senate Bill 348 by Senator Lucas of the 26th, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Hancock County. Senate Bill 349 by Senator Lucas of the 26th, a bill to authorize the governing authority of Hancock County to levy an excise tax. Senate Bill 350 by Senator Jackson of the 41st, Mangum of the 55th, Parent of the 44th, Jones of the 10th, Anderson of the 43rd, a bill to amend an act providing for the compensation of certain county officers and officials of DeKalb County. Senate Bill 351 by Senator Walker of the 20th, a bill to amend an act to establish the State Court of Troyland. Senate Bill 355 by Senator Anavarte of the 31st and Bearden of the 30th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Paulding County School District ad valorem taxes for educational purposes. Through second readers.
Re- Reports of standing committees. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
Representative Lumsden of the 12th District, Chairman of the Committee on Insurance, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Insurance has had under its consideration the following bill of the Senate. It's instructed me to report same back to the House with following recommendations. Senate Bill 5, due pass by committee substitute, respectfully submitted Representative Lumsden of the 12th District. Chairman. Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under its consideration the following bills and resolutions of the House. It's instructed me to report same back to the House with following recommendations. House Bill 816, due pass. House Bill 819, due pass. House Bill 837, due pass. House Bill 838, due pass. House Bill 839, due pass. House Bill 840, due pass. House Bill 845, due pass. House Bill 847, due pass. House Bill 849, due pass. House Bill 851, due pass. House Bill 852, due pass. House Bill 855, due pass. House Bill 856, due pass. House Bill 857, due pass. House Bill 858, due pass. House Bill 869, due pass. House Bill 811, due pass. House Bill 813, due pass. House Bill 814, due pass. House Bill 815, due pass. House Bill 820, due pass. House Bill 823, due pass. House Bill 824, due pass. House Bill 832, due pass. House Bill 834, due pass. House Bill 835, due pass. House Bill 836, due pass. House Bill 841, due pass. House Bill 842, due pass. House Bill 843, due pass. House Bill 844, due pass. House Bill 846, due pass. House Bill 848, due pass. House Bill 850, due pass. House Bill 853, due pass. House Bill 854, due pass. House Bill 859, due pass. House Bill 860, due pass. House Bill 861, due pass. House Bill 870, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District. Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
House will come to order. We do have a local calendar this morning. We do have a local calendar. There are actually 3 bills on the local calendar that relate to homestead exemption and require a recorded 2/3 roll call vote for passage. For what purpose does Chair Lady Camp rise?
To make a motion
State your motion.
to remove HB 851 and HB 852 from the local calendar and recommit it to Intergovernmental Coordination Committee.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 851 and 852?
House Bill 851 by Representative Gaines, the 120th Athens, Clark County. House Bill 852 by Representative Gaines, the 120th Athens, Clark County.
On the lady's motion that House Bill 851 and 852 be removed from the local calendar and recommitted to the the Intergovernmental Coordination Committee, is there objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote absent 851 and 852 that will be removed. Hearing none, it is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read the local calendar?
House Bill 816 by Representative Rose, the 124th Greene County. House Bill 819 by Representative Washburn, the 144th Jasper County. House Bill 834 by Representative Kelly, the 16th City of Cedartown. House Bill 837 by Representative Miles, the 126th Augusta Richmond County. House Bill 838 by Representative Smith, the 70th City of Noonan. House Bill 839 by Representative Gaines, the 120th Jackson County. House Bill 840 by Representative Jaspers, the 11th Pickens County. House Bill 845 by Representative Ridley, the 22nd Cherokee County. House Bill 847 by Representative Cummings of the 39th Cobb County. House Bill 849 by Representative Green of the 154th Whitman County, Randolph County, Stewart County. House Bill 855 by Representative Taylor, 173rd City of Thomasville. House Bill 856 by Representative LaHood of the 175th Brooks County. House Bill 857 by Representative Cummings of the 39th Cobb County. House Bill 858 by Representative Cummings of the 39th Cobb County. House Bill 869 by Representative Gamble of the 15th City of Cartersville, Bartow County. House Bill 811 by Representative LaHood of the 175th Lowndes County. House Bill 813 by Representative LaHood of the 175th Lowndes County. House Bill 814 by Representative LaHood of the 175th Lowndes County. House Bill 815 by Representative LaHood of the 175th Lowndes County. House Bill 820 by Representative Washburn of the 144th Jasper County. House Bill 823 by Representative Wade of the 9th Dawson County. House Bill 824 by Representative Wade of the 9th Dawson County. House Bill 832 by Representative Gullett of the 19th Paulding County. House Bill 835 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th City of Dalton. House Bill 836 by Representative Smith of the 70th Coweta County. House Bill 841 by Representative Jaspers, the 11th Pickens County. House Bill 842 by Representative Carpenter, the 4th Whitfield County. House Bill 843 by Representative Carpenter, the 4th City of Dalton. House Bill 844 by Representative Carpenter, the 4th Whitfield County. House Bill 846 by Representative Thomas of the 21st Cherokee County. House Bill 848 by Representative Kelly of the 16th Polk County. House Bill 850 by Representative Newton of the 127th Augusta Richmond County. House Bill 853 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th City of Tunnel Hill. House Bill 854 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th City of Cohutta. House Bill 859 by Representative Gamble of the 15th City of Cartersville. House Bill 860 by Representative Barton of the 5th, Gordon County. House Bill 861 by Representative Barton of the 5th, City of Calhoun. And House Bill 870 by Representative Neal of the 79th, Clayton County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of the local calendar without House Bills 851 and 852, the yeas are 165, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Members, I love to have your attention. A former member of this House is with us today, but I want to recognize her first as a former member, and then we're going to recognize her again in just a minute. But Representative Lynn Riley served in this House with distinction, and I want you all to stand and help me welcome Lynn Riley back to the place she called home, the People's House. Thank you, members. We do have an invite resolution. We have a couple of them, and I'll ask for your attention over the next few minutes as we honor some very special Georgians. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Resolution 850.
House Resolution 850 by Representatives Martin of the 49th, Burns of the 159th, Jones of the 47th, Dempsey the 13th, Smith of the 70th, and others. A resolution recognizing and commending Lynn Riley on the occasion of her retirement.
Chairman Martin is recognized to speak to the resolution and to this fine lady's career. Chairman Martin.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the House and Mr. Speaker. I'll attempt to speak to this resolution and tell you there's no way I could stand before you and speak to the total amount that she has meant to North Fulton County. Commissioner, Representative Commissioner, State Treasurer, and President Riley has meant so much to our area in North Fulton County in the state of Georgia over the last 21 years. Yes, she served as a county commissioner, a member of this body, the revenue commissioner, the first female revenue commissioner of the state of Georgia, the first female state treasurer of the state of Georgia, and is currently retiring from Georgia as the president of the Student Finance Commission. She has done so much with her leadership talents, her remarkable patience and diplomacy, and keen vision Her sensitivity to the needs of Georgia is beyond anything I've ever experienced. And that's just what she did for me while she was working with us on the Higher Ed Committee. Y'all are supposed to laugh with me at that she helped me. Now, in seriousness, down here you meet a lot of people that are good personally. You know, they're good with people. They're good technically. Some work well in a team. Some are great leaders. Some know specific areas. Others are generalists. I have never met anyone, and I stand before you today and truthfully say I've never met anyone that does all those things and more. I could spend the next little while telling you about President, Commissioner, Treasurer, and Representative Lynn Riley, but I think it would be best if the Speaker would allow to hear from her on the occasion of her retirement from 21 years of public service for Fulton County and the great state of Georgia. Would y'all help me welcome our former colleague, Lynn Riley.
Thank you so much. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for inviting me here today. Chairman Martin, my good friend Chuck, Madam Pro Tem, my very good friends, and all the members of the Chamber, thank you for the privilege to serve with many of you, to work with all of you, and the great things that you have been able to advance in this amazing state of Georgia. I'm thrilled to have spent all the times we have together finding good things to do for the citizens of this state, and I'm very proud to have been able to work with each of you in that regard. I'm not saying goodbye, I'm just leaving the state in great hands and very proud of that, and hoping that I can benefit now as a private citizen of all the amazing things you do. Thank you every day for your leadership, your sacrifices, and everything you do to make Georgia the best state in the nation to live, work, and thrive. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Lynn Riley, for your years of service to our state. But we know there's a gentleman here with us as well. I want to introduce him to the members this morning. It's up in the gallery that will be filling those big shoes. Chris Green, thank you for standing up and taking over. You've done an awesome job working with Lynn, and we appreciate you and look forward to working with you in the future. And thanks for being here with us. Members, you may join Lynn down in the South Ante room for some photos and thank her for her service. And Chris, you probably might want to step down there too, in addition. Members, I want to ask you to pay special attention, as you always do, to our next invite resolution that's very, very special. Thank you, Madam Doorkeeper. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Resolution 849?
House Resolution 849 by Representative Hitchens, 161st, a resolution recognizing and commending Trooper First Class Mapes.
Thank you, members. We have a special resolution honoring this young trooper this morning. So members will please give your attention to Chairman Bill Hitchens. Chairman Hitchens.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I come today to honor somebody who's been honored in many other areas of our country already, but this is the first time he's been honored in our state. On last November, TFC Mapes and Trooper Cadets South were on patrol in Conyers, Georgia, when they had a car come through the radar at 103 miles an hour. They gave pursuit, didn't go very far, and the car that they were chasing got in a racing contest with another car. And when the blue lights came on, they went in separate directions. They followed the initial car, went up the ramp in Conyers. They tried to dodge the troopers, pulled into a gas station, and the troopers pulled in the other side and blocked them. Both of them got out the car and ran on foot. Trooper Mace chased the passenger, and Trooper Cadet South chased the driver. All of a sudden, Trooper Mace found that he was in the field of fire for several bullets, and he got struck. And he couldn't fire back because people in the gas station were behind him, and he couldn't fire for fear of maybe hitting one of them. Subsequently, he went to the side, and Trooper South heard the gunshots. He'd gone in a different direction, so he came back to help. And after he went off to the side, he had an open shot, and Mays shot the perpetrator, who continued on. But together they ran him down, and they arrested him. Both people were convicted felons. They were intoxicated, and they both had weapons. Subsequent to that, Trooper Mace was nominated for the Trooper of the Year for the Southern District of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, which he won. And then he was entered into the contest for the National Trooper of the Year, along with a trooper from Vermont, one from Missouri, and one from Idaho. And he was the national winner. So Trooper Mapes is the National Trooper of the Year for the United States. You want to say something? He's got quite a history. You all know I was in the Marines, and I've been very passionate about my prior experience with some of you out here who are in the Army. And it hurts my mouth to say this, but he's a veteran of the United States Army, too. I think the Colonel would like to say something first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, for having us here today. And I just wanted to say something very briefly, but a lot of people, they ask us, why do we train the way we do? Should we not lower our standards of training? Once you hear this type of action happen, that's why we train the way we do. It'd been easy for Trooper Mapes to feel that pain in his side, turn around and go about his business and go back. But he saw there were citizens at another gas station where this armed guy was going, and he knew that it was him that had to stand up and take action to prevent those people from getting injured or possibly killed. And we just want to say, be thinking about Madison and Taylor. They had to hear about this, that their husbands were in a gunfight, and hear about that. And luckily they're both okay, but they are stalwarts for their family. And we just want to say thank you. But it's people like this, when evil raises their head, it's people like this that stand up and stand in the gap and keep us safe. So thank you very much.
And I don't know whether he wants to or not, but I'm going to ask Trooper Mapes. He gave a pretty good speech at the IACP conference in Orlando. So both of them are college graduates. Mapes went to North Georgia College, and South went to Georgia Southern. So if Trooper Mapes would like to say a few words.
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir.
Or even if you don't.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want to say, first off, thank you for having us here. Thank you for honoring us in this big way. I heard it pretty well while we were down at the IICP conference that this profession for us is a calling. It's not something that we do for a paycheck. It's not something we do because it's a necessity. It's something we were called to do. And for me and Logan was my cadet at the time, and I can't thank him enough for being there for me. And I know that the way that I am, the way that he is, this is truly what we're supposed to do, what we're meant to do in this world. And thank everybody here. I want to thank you for my command staff for having our backs. Thank everyone underneath the Gold Dome for having our backs and allowing us to actually do our job and protect the citizens of Georgia. Thank you.
And while they're here, I'd like to introduce some other people. Madison Mapes, who's his wife, that got the phone call that he'd been shot. Trooper South, who was a cadet in trooper school at the time, but has now graduated and is a trooper in Athens, and his wife, Taylor. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Balcom, and I see some more of the command staff that's come in since then, but and most especially I'd like to recognize Julie Mapps, his mother, who's in the upstairs, and some of their family members. So, thank you very much. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Colonel Chairman Hitchens. Let's have all of our brave men and women. I see a lot of you here today that are wearing that blue and gray. There's some in the gallery. If y'all all stand, and let us show you our appreciation and our great gratitude to you for you keeping us safe. Thank you all. There's been a lot said, and I'll just add, we cannot thank you enough for the sacrifices your families make and you troopers, command staff make on behalf of the people of Georgia. You are truly appreciated, and we can guarantee you that. Thank you for your service. Members, you may join Officer Mapes and Officer South in that South Annie room. Have a photo and thank them for their service. We're going to move on to morning orders at this time. Morning orders. You're going to have about a minute each. I know you have some groups here in the gallery, but I hope you can do it in about 60 seconds. That's 1 minute. We'll begin with Representative Sheila Jones and Representative Bernal. You're on deck. The lady will suspend just for a moment. She's joined by some friends. Now she's ready. Members, if you'll give Representative Jones your attention, please. Representative Jones, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. Today, I have some of my special seniors from District 60 here with us today. This is the last day of Women's History Month, and I want to read a few lines from the resolution where we are recognizing and commending the women of State House District 60 during Women's History Month. And whereas Women's History Month is celebrated each March to honor the invaluable contributions of women, and whereas the women of State House District 60 have demonstrated unwavering dedication in many fields, including business, education, healthcare, public service, and it is abundantly fitting and proper that these distinguished women be appropriately honored for their outstanding contribution. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I had a 90-year-old to say to me last week, Sheila, I have never been to the Capitol. Will you take me one day? Yeah. So in 3 days, we put this trip together and we brought the 11 women down. And Al Williams, Representative Williams, will say something.
Mr. Speaker, very quickly, Ms. Johnson is up there. Her husband was the former band director for Morris Brown College. And I want you to know she did a wonderful job because she gave me a bath when I was 5 years old. You are a superstar.
And before we leave, I would like to ask all of the women from District 60 to please stand as we welcome you to your house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It's great to have you. Ms. Johnson, welcome to your house, the People's House. We're glad to have you. And thank you for caring for Representative Williams in his infancy, which was a day or two ago. Representative Bernal and then Representative Herring's is on deck after Representative Bernal and friends. Representative Tangi Herring.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I would like to give you all some information about your cities or your counties becoming a Purple Heart County. We did it in Clayton County, and it's something that you can do that ask your mayors if they want to be a Purple Heart city, and then it's something that makes your community feel good and it doesn't cost you anything. So all 7 of Clayton County cities are Purple Heart cities, and then our county is Purple Heart. So if you want more information about it, please stop by and ask me, because the gentleman that will come to your county and certify you lives in Gwinnett County, but he'll go all over the state. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And Fulton County is also a Purple Heart County, and my cities in District 63 are all Purple Heart cities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Good to have everyone. Purple Heart counties. It's pretty cool. Representative Herring, give the lady your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you have a connection to Mercer University, please come up.
Mercer University.
Yay.
All connected to Mercer University. Please come down front.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, this morning I rise with great pride to recognize a team that has become a symbol to both athletic excellence and academic distinction. The 2024 Mercer University Bears football team, right over there. Under the leadership of our first-year head coach, Mike Jacobs, the Bears roared into history with a record-breaking season, the best start in the program's 50-plus year history, representing the Southern Conference and proudly calling Five Star Stadium in Macon home. Mercer's gridiron greatness has earned them a place among the nation's elite. Let's talk facts. The Bears finished the season with 11-3 overall and dominated the 7-1 conference record. They clinched the playoffs as the SoCon's top team and made their first ever quarterfinal appearance in the FCS playoffs. Mercer rose as high as number 10 in both the AFCA coaches poll and the state's Perform FCS top 25, reaching a program high number 11 mid-season. They defeated the 6 nationally ranked teams in their final season 7 games, including nation's 5 best wins over the top 25 opponents at kickoff. Today, we have with us Jim Cole, athletic director, Coach Mike Jacobs, linebacker Isaac Dowling, and center Riley Adcock in the gallery today. If you guys would please stand. Congratulations on a wonderful academic season and also athletic success. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Way to go. Way to go.
Thank you.
Good job.
Congratulations, Mercer Bears. I'm going to tell you, that Southern Conference is a tough conference. And members, you're welcome to come down, former Representative Jim Cole. So come on down and we'll recognize you on the floor. Congratulations, Mercer. We appreciate y'all being here today. Representative Amati Barnes. Representative Barnes, and then Representative Edna Jackson, you're on deck. Representative Barnes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm just coming to remind everyone that we are having Cosmetology Day here in the Capitol. It's in Cap 230. It starts at noon. You can go get your hair freshened up. We're going to be here all day, so you can go look pretty for after lunch. You can get your nails spruced up. And just showing the importance of our cosmetologists to the state of Georgia and what they bring. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Jackson and friends. I see a lot of friends coming around.
Thank you.
What are you going to talk about Savannah State?
Yes. Yes.
The Savannah State. We won't worry about the Fort Valley State. We're talking about the Savannah State. Wait, hold on just a moment.
Thank you so much, y'all. It is an honor and a pleasure for me to come this morning along with all of my colleagues and to honor a great group of athletic young men. Now, y'all know how I feel about Savannah State, so I don't have to go through that. And I'm just excited. All right, that's all I got to say. Savannah State University, founded in 1890, was the first historically African-American college in the state of Georgia, where the money was coming from all of our families as taxpayers. We've been in existence, as I said, for a very long time. Our athletic programs are growing and growing and growing. This morning, it is an honor for me, of course, to introduce our president first. Madam, she left me? Oh, okay. Cynthia Alexander. And then we have with us this morning the head of our athletic department. Please stand. And the coaches. But most of all, we have let me finish this little thing, this resolution. I don't want to read all of it. It'll take too long here. Make me sit down. All right. This year, in the basketball 2025, we won the SIAC Men's Basketball Tournament. Now, I would like to ask that all of the players that are here, please stand.
All right.
Along with the other coaches and their assistants are here this morning. The player, I lost the name, I'm sorry, young man, but the player that won the top award during this tournament is here with us. Raise your hand. So again, Mr. Speaker, I present to you, and I do have a resolution to present to them for being so outstanding in the great state of Georgia and the city of Savannah.
Congratulations. I thought you were going to say the great state of Chatham. I thought that's where you're going to, but you didn't.
But, Mr. Chairman, I also would like, they're coming down, some of the leaders are coming down to take pictures with our leader, as well as our legislators, but they will be in the
South Annie room.
Yeah, all right. You already.
The lady has yielded the well. Okay. Representative Schofield, recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You can turn my red light off. I haven't even started. Members of the House.
It doesn't matter. Nobody else pays attention to it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, today I rise to recognize an exceptional Georgian, Dana Fowle, Fox 5 I-Team, Good Day Atlanta, and consumer reporter, for her outstanding contributions to journalism, public service, consumer reporting, and protections. House Resolution 733, this body honors her for her career marked by integrity, fearless reporting, and a deep commitment to unwavering truth on behalf of the people of Georgia. I've worked with Dana for over 4 years on PFAS and the forever toxic chemicals. And every day she informs the people of Georgia on issues like housing, health, workplace issues, student resources, protecting consumers. So Dana, please stand. It's not only fitting that you receive the House resolution today, but Dana, I am very happy to award you the Secretary of State's Outstanding Citizen Award for your well-deserved, unwavering service and impact. You're now part of Georgia's history. Thank you. Come on down and take pictures with us. Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
You need some frames.
Representative Schofield, while you're there, we're going to recognize Representative Scott, Representative Sheila Jones for another morning order. Yes, that green light and red light does work.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members of the House of Representatives Schofield, Representative Jones, me, and a few senators had the opportunity to participate in the huge blood donation at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Today, we proudly recognize and commend the International We Love You Foundation for their outstanding commitment to community service and environmental sustainability in Atlanta. Their dedication to uplifting neighborhoods through volunteerism, cleanup initiatives, and humanitarian outreach reflects the very best of civic engagement. We have a House resolution honoring your work, and thank you for making a meaningful impact across our city and beyond. Would you all please stand to be recognized? Oh, that is, yeah. And you all can come down to the end. Thank you. And you all can come down to the third floor to the anteroom for pictures.
Thank y'all. We don't allow any outbursts in the gallery, but we love that kind of outburst. We don't get that very often. Thank you. Thank you all for what you've been doing and what you're doing and what you will do. We appreciate you. Come down to the South Annie room for some photos. Thank you so much. Representative Davis. Wait a minute. Some of y'all are still there. I got one more, then I'm gonna call on you guys. The Athens delegation, Representative Gaines and the Athens delegation. Other members of the Athens delegation, come on, Representative Fry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This morning, pleased to present a resolution honoring the Athens Northeast Georgia Food Bank, and we have Aaron Barger and Cameron Jay here. Aaron serves as executive director. They do a tremendous job. Last year, they served over 15 million pounds of food, and that was last year. They cover 15 county service area, and they recently opened a 65,000 square foot new facility that's outstanding. And so thank you all for your service, and look forward to presenting this resolution to you honoring your great service. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Food banks make a difference. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for what you're doing. Representative Davis, Representative Schofield, and Representative Scott recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members of the Georgia House of Representatives,
We rise today to acknowledge March as Blood Clot Awareness Month in Georgia, as established by House Resolution 91. This highlights our commitment to educating Georgians about deep vein thrombosis, DVT, and pulmonary embolism, PE, serious conditions that affect up to 900,000 Americans annually. Georgia's inclusion in the stroke belt, a region with stroke mortality rates approximately 30% higher than the national average, underscores the importance of this awareness initiative. Members of the National Blood Clot Alliance are in the gallery. Will you please stand as we recognize you? Okay, they're not here. All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and we yield the well.
Thank you. Representative Park Cannon is recognized to acknowledge some guests. Representative Cannon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hello, members. Today is Community Doula Day, and we are joined by the Georgia Community Doula Coalition. Their goal is to improve birth outcomes and advance culturally sensitive perinatal health care across Georgia by ensuring equitable access to community-based doula services. Thank you for joining me. Their vision includes sustainable and livable wages for doulas, autonomy in training and certification pathways, freedom to work independently, recognition of holistic and alternative modalities, barrier-free access to education and reimbursement options, inclusion of doula expertise in legislation, and protection from exploitation. We're excited that this coming week, March 29th through April 5th, is Community Doula Week across the state of Georgia and the United States. Congratulations and thank you for being here on Community Doula Day. I yield the well. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Speaker.
We're having fun this morning. Representative Carter and Representative Bennett. Women's History.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of Representative Doreen Carter and myself, we would like to continue the celebration of Women's History Month. We have from our joint district, Carlene Anderson, from the Lithonia High School PTSA. She is the president. Ms. Anderson, are you still in the house? If so, would you please stand to be recognized along with your board members? There she is over there to my far right. On this past Saturday, she, along with about 10 other women from DeKalb County, Lithonia, and Conyers specifically, were honored at a breakfast hosted by Representative Doreen Carter. And so on behalf of Representative Carter, I'd like to welcome you to the People's House, to your house, and I would like for my colleagues to stand and recognize you and thank you for coming today. Won't you stand? Thank you so much. She's joined by other board members. If you would come down to the South Anteroom and we'll take pictures. Thank you. I yield the well.
Representative Hatchett, I'm going to let you come ahead. I'm going to invite you to come to the well for a motion. We'll just get you up here and keep you up here. Chairman Hatchett is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House disagree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 68. Oh, boy, sorry.
It's been a long weekend, hasn't it? You'll be fine. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
House Bill number 68 by Representative Burns, the 159th and others, to be entitled an act to make and provide appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026.
Chairman Hatchett, will you explain our disagreement to the Senate substitute?
Thank you. Looking at this little Jesus up here this morning, I need a lot of that. This allows us to start the process of the conference committee establishment on the budget. And as you know, if you have looked, there are many differences, and I hope we get to the final version sometime before midnight Friday.
Me too. Any questions for the chairman? Hearing none, I think everyone understands your position, Mr. Chairman. On the gentleman's motion that the House disagree to the Senate substitute of House Bill 68, is there objection? Hearing none, the House has disagreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 68. This House is ready to move on to the rules calendar. Mr. Clerk, will you read a caption to Senate Bill 141?
Senate Bill 141 by Senator Hatchett of the 50th and others to be titled an act to amend Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to revenue and taxation so as to extend the appeal and protest period from 30 days to 45 days for tax assessments. This bill having referred to the Committee on Ways and Means, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Representative Hong is recognized to present the bill. Representative Hong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present Senate Bill 141. This is an agency bill for the Department of Revenue, and it essentially will extend various appeal periods for taxpayers from 30 days to 45 days. Their claims for tax refunds, payments of taxes. So we're extending that appeal period from 30 to 45 days. This legislation aims to address inefficiencies and undue burdens within the Georgia tax system that impact both taxpayers and tax preparers. And then the second section was a friendly amendment that was added, and it will give local government an option to extend the ad valorem tax treatment of historic renovation of commercial property. I ask for your favorable vote, and I will take any questions.
There are no questions.
I yield the well. Thank you.
The lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of the bill. The yeas were 166, the nays were 0. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 256. Senate Bill 256.
Senate Bill 256 by Senator Cowser to the 46 to be entitled an act to amend Article 4, Chapter 3, Title 46 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to electric membership corporations and foreign electric cooperatives, so as requiring an electric membership corporation to disclose certain acquisitions. This bill having referred to the Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications. That committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Representative Martin to present the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, if you'll recall, last session we approved a bill to allow a gas affiliate to pledge up to 15% of their assets an EMC to pledge up to 15% of their assets to their gas affiliate. What Senate Bill 256 does is put some additional consumer protection, member protections on that by requiring the disclosure of the assets that were pledged and the amount of gas that's being underwritten for those assets. The particular EMC involved is Cobb EMC with its affiliate Gas South. They're neutral in the bill. The Georgia EMCs are in favor of the bill. I'll answer any questions, but this is a consumer and member protection policy. If there are no questions, I'll yield the well.
There are no questions. The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of the bill. The yeas were 163. The nays were 1. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption of Senate Bill 140. Senate Bill 140.
Senate Bill 140 by Senators Dolezal of the 27th and others to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 30 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to optometrists so as to provide for doctors of optometry to dispense and sell pharmaceutical agents to patients under certain conditions. This bill having referred to the Committee on Health. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Floor Leader Gamble to present the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Senate Bill 140 seeks to amend Georgia law to enable optometrists to be able to dispense and sell medications to their patients. The bill enables optometrists to sell any medication that they are able to currently prescribe, with the exception being for anything that is a controlled, dangerous substance. This would be limited to medications that are for treatment of the eye and the ocular adnexa. There are many goals of what we're trying to accomplish with this. Number one is it will make it more convenient for patients who are interested in purchasing medications and wish to do so from their optometrist's office. They would still be able to purchase medication from a pharmacy if they chose to do so. Oftentimes, optometrists carry certain medications that the pharmacies don't have access to in their offices. And again, this would just enable optometrists to sell those medications to patients. This is a good bill that was worked on with between the Optometrist Association and the Georgia Pharmacy Association. And I would ask for your favorable consideration, and we'll yield for any questions.
We have a couple of questions. Representative Park Cannon to your left is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you yield?
I yield.
You said that there were a number of things that we're solving with this legislation. Can you speak a little bit more to those, maybe an incident that's taken place, a problem we're solving here, just some more information?
Yes, so in many cases, a patient will be prescribed one of these medications that an optometrist would carry, and it might be that the pharmacy has closed and they don't have access to get the medication, and so this would be more of a convenience, if anything else, to allow them to purchase those products from the optometrist in their office. Again, they still have the option to buy from a pharmacy, but they would just be able to do that in an optometrist's office as well. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I will ask for this body's favorable consideration and yield the well.
The gentleman has yielded the well. He had a couple more questions, but the gentleman's yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee's substitute? Hearing none, the committee's substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of Senate Bill 140, the yeas are 166, the nays are 0. This bill having received the requisite constitutional majority is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 9393?
Senate Bill 93 by Senator Kemp of the 38th and others to be titled Act to Amend Code Section 22-153.1 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated the Georgia Early Literacy Act. This bill having referred to the Committee on Education. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Representative Ballard, I know this is your area of expertise. So the lady is recognized to present Senate Bill 93.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I have Senate Bill 93, which is a companion bill to House Bill 307 that passed both chambers earlier this year. This ensures Georgia teachers are being trained in alignment with our Science of Reading standards. It works to strengthen our efforts to end the reliance on the 3 cueing practice, and it supports our teachers by making sure they are ready to teach reading to our children on day 1 in the classroom. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I ask your favorable consideration. If there are no questions, I will yield the well.
The lady has no questions.
Thank you. I yield.
Well, is there any? The lady's yielded the well. There is a someone who'd like to sign up to speak in favor of the bill. Representative Park Cannon is recognized to speak to the bill. Representative Cannon.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members. I am rising in support of this measure and grateful for our senators who supported this bill, proposed this bill, and got it through committee. I, as a preschool teacher, really feel as though this bill helps to prepare our teachers for ensuring that we're giving them the best tools that they need to teach children across Georgia to read. I know that there are a few of us in here who have most recently been Georgia students, and we went through a time period where learning how to read was a fun thing. We used to, if you remember, get pizza parties on Friday. We used to get special points if we did the best reading, and somehow we have lost our way in the state of Georgia. We here need to remind ourselves that only 70%, up to 70% of our students are not reading reading on grade level. And our teachers have come to us to say that they believe the reasons why is because the ways in which that we are teaching. And so this is a bipartisan piece of legislation. You know, it has been exciting to see teachers show up and speak to this legislation here. I hope that you'll be joining us in voting in support of this bill and giving our teachers the best opportunity that they can to help our children read. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you for your comments. The ladies yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee's substitute? Hearing none, the committee's substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 93, the yeas are 168, the nays are 0. This bill having received the requisite constitutional majority is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of Senate Bill 121?
Senate Bill 121 by Senator Harbin of the 16th and others be titled an act to amend Code Section 33-711 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to uninsured motorist coverage under motor vehicle liability policies so as to increase the minimum uninsured motorist coverage required under motor vehicle liability policies. This bill having referred to the Committee on Insurance. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by Rules Committee substitute.
Chairman Lumsden is recognized to present the bill, the substitute. Chairman Lumsden.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, I bring to you Senate Bill 121. This is a bill that requires those individuals convicted of DUI to carry higher levels of liability and property damage coverage than the state mandated minimums. First offenders are required to carry 50-150 for 3 years. Second or subsequent offenses require 100-300-100 for 3 years. And the individual is required to keep proof of coverage in their possession while operating the vehicle. Mr. Speaker, that's the bill. I would appreciate your favorable consideration.
Gentleman's yield of the will. He had no questions. We do have a speaker representing Mary Margaret Oliver. I'm sorry, I apologize. That was on the next one. I want to just get you ready. The gentleman is yielded the will, and there are no speakers on SB 121. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? Hearing none, the Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 121, the yeas are 157, the nays are 11. This bill having received the requisite constitutional majority is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 8? Senate Bill 8.
Senate Bill 8 by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd and others to be titled an act to amend Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to courts so as to provide for arrest warrant requirements when juvenile courts are acting as courts of inquiry. This bill having been referred to the Committee on Judiciary Juvenile, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair Lady Mandy Ballinger is recognized to present the bill. Representative Ballinger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of SB 8. SB 8 clarifies existing statutory authority of the juvenile court to act as a court of inquiry in the issuance of arrest warrants based upon probable cause by aligning the juvenile code with procedure for other such courts codified in Title 17. A court of inquiry is best understood as a descriptive term for a court with factual investigatory powers and the powers to summon and examine witnesses and evidence for that purpose. Section 1 adds a new subsection to the existing statutory framework contained in OCGA 1511-7 for the issuance of arrest warrants to cross-reference and restate applicable provisions in Chapter 1 of Title 17. Section 2 adds a new subsection to OCGA 1518-6.1 to mirror provisions applicable to other courts of inquiry, which preserve the role of prosecuting authorities to represent the state in the appropriate class of court with jurisdiction over alleged offenses. Section 3 eliminates conflict in existing statutes by adding juvenile judges to the enumerated judges authorized by Title 17 to issue an arrest warrant based on probable cause. Section 4 adds juvenile court judges to those enumerated who may conduct courts of inquiry. That is the bill. You all received a letter from the Council of Juvenile Court Judges. They have no objection to the bill. To SB 8, since we believe it reaffirms existing law, we're basically restating existing law and moving it from one section to another. I'll be more than happy to yield to any questions.
Lady has a couple of questions, and then we have a speaker on the bill. I got a little bit early a while ago, but Representative Oliver is going to speak to the bill. Representative Miller is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
Can you speak a little bit to what it was that necessitated this expansion of arrest powers? My concern, I'll just share, is that juvenile judges are typically not elected judges, they're appointed judges. And so why would we be giving them the same authority that we give to Superior Court judges to make these decisions who are answerable to the people?
They already have that authority. As the letter from the juvenile court judges stated, it's not an expansion of their powers. You're just restating and clarifying the powers that already exist in statute. And the reason that we're doing that is there was some problems whenever juvenile court judges would issue warrants. They had some problems in actually getting the sheriffs to execute them and things like that. So this is why we had to have the bill, to clarify those issues and to make sure that everybody understood this explicit powers that were already there for our juvenile court judges, but just restate them and clarify them for everyone else.
Does the lady further yield?
Sure.
Have you, during the course of preparing this bill or championing this bill, spoken to Superior Court judges to see what their take is?
I regularly speak with many Superior Court judges, and none of them have expressed any concerns about this, as they are the ones that usually, generally speaking, appoint the juvenile court judges. So they're very interested in making sure that the warrants and the actions of the juvenile court judge are very reflective upon the Superior Court judges, and they have a lot of confidence in those judges. So no, they had no opposition.
Thank you. I have received several calls from Superior Court judges who are opposed to this expansion. Thank you.
Lady, yield for another question.
Yes, sir.
Representative Rice to your left is way to your left is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
Yes.
Is it not true this bill ensures that our legal statutes operate cohesively, thereby strengthening the administration of justice in Georgia?
It does. Thank you, lady. Thank the lady for the question. If there are no further questions.
You have one question in front of you, and this will be your last question. Then we had to have a speaker
Sure.
Leader Illustration, right in front of you to your right, is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
Ma'am, is it not true that by specifying the warrant requirements for juvenile courts acting as a court of inquiry, this bill actually enhances the procedural clarity and provides consistency within our judicial system?
That is true, and that's the purpose of the bill.
Thank you for bringing the bill.
Stated. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I yield for any more questions.
You have one more question if you want to take it, then we have a speaker.
Okay.
Representative Park Cannon, do you have a question, Representative Cannon?
Yes, sir.
Ladies recognized.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you yield?
I do.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So would this bill possibly permit DFACs in having more investigatory powers? Like, will they?
This in no way impacts the powers that DFACS has or does not have.
Okay, and further inquiry. So will DFACS not be able to get arrest warrants then with this?
If the juvenile court judge sees, if somebody approaches the juvenile court judge or the juvenile court judge hears of a criminal act, then the juvenile court judge will be able to issue the warrant. That is something that they can already do. Many of them sit actually as Superior Court judges by special designation in a lot of instances in various counties across the state. There are 159 of them, so every 159 of them is a little bit different. But there is no expansion or anything like that of the powers currently being exercised by our juvenile court judges.
So DFACS has investigatory powers, though?
I believe, I mean, they get referred all the child abuse cases, and they're meant to investigate those. So they do have investigative powers already. But this bill doesn't touch, it doesn't enhance or not enhance, it doesn't touch any of the powers of DFACS.
Okay, I'm not sure that I'm asking the question as it is, but from my understanding, I'd just like to place a concern on the impact that this has on the arrest powers and investigatory powers.
Yeah, it does not, again, this bill does not expand any of the powers currently exercised by our juvenile court judges. It doesn't enhance their powers. It doesn't give them more powers. It simply clarifies the powers that they do have currently in law, and it also streamlines the processes for better working relationships with our other various courts. Mr. Speaker, if there are no further questions, I will yield the well and ask for your favorable consideration of SB 8.
The lady has no further questions. She's yielded the well. Representative Mary Margaret Oliver is recognized to speak in opposition to the bill. I apologize for trying to recognize you earlier, so thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Whenever I see an expansion of arrest powers, I get a little nervous. I used to be a magistrate court judge and hear informed and investigated evidence about issuing of arrest warrants. I don't believe that the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court can issue an arrest warrant from his bench, or the Court of Appeals, or the Superior Court, or really any other court that doesn't have a law enforcement investigative arm to help him or her really evaluate the facts before it. We have a dispute among the juvenile court judges right now. This doesn't clarify. This determines that they do have arrest powers from the bench, apparently, to go across jurisdictional lines. In DeKalb County, I think I had 15 different entities that were doing criminal investigations. There was a lot of jurisdictional issues we had to figure out. And if you're asking a juvenile court judge, giving a juvenile court judge the power in this bill, which I believe you are, to go across criminal jurisdictions, then you're creating confusion. Many years ago, we passed a bill that created a child abuse protocol requirement within your counties so that DFACS was obligated to work with law enforcement and other entities in the county to deal with these kind of cross-jurisdictional investigation and problem-solving approaches. I've asked, what is the status of our child abuse protocols? Why aren't we using these to resolve local conflict issues? The Council of Juvenile Court Judges says this is not their bill. I think it comes from defects in their inability, under a confusion or under a determination of a law they don't agree with, to make arrest warrants and give them more power in the expanding authority they wish to have to do criminal investigations. Mr. Speaker, this is a very dense area. It can be difficult to decipher who has the power to do what, but I felt I wanted to raise the issue of conflicting jurisdictions, conflicting authority, and that the power of arrest is a pretty big deal in my book. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
The lady has yielded the well. Thanks to everyone for their questions and their explanation on SB 8. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? For what purpose does Representative Miller rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, is it not true that this bill would give a juvenile judge in Fulton County, unelected, the authority to issue an arrest warrant for a child in Effingham County without regard for that judge's respective jurisdiction over Effingham?
I'm sure the lady knows. I didn't know she was coming down to Effingham, but that'd be fine too. We'd love to have you down there as soon as I retire. But I'm sure the lady is knowledgeable in what she speaks. And thank you for the inquiry. For what purpose does Representative Gullett rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, is it not true that by supporting this bill, we're taking decisive step forward to harmonizing our state's legal codes and ensure that our courts operate under uniform standards when issuing arrest warrants?
I'm sure the gentleman knows of what he states and believes. That. For what purpose does Representative Byrd rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true this bill is giving DFAC's overreaching authority?
I'm sure the lady believes that, if that's her statement. For what purpose does Leader F. Strachan rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, is it not true that in reviewing this bill, I had an opportunity to consult with juvenile court judges who made very clear to me they already have these powers that they are exercising currently, but there's nothing in law specifying the procedure which Senate Bill 8 will now provide. And based upon that, it's good policy to have in our code for these circumstances.
I'm sure the gentleman knows of what he speaks. He does. He is a practicing attorney, as others are in this room. Have all members now voted? We've had a chance to thoroughly vet the bill. Have all members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 8, the yeas are 79, the nays are 87. This bill, having failed to receive the requisite constitutional majority, has therefore failed. For what purpose does Leader F. Strachan rise?
Make a motion.
State your motion.
I move that the House reconsider its action on Senate Bill 8.
Since we're in this last week of the session, the last 3 days, we'll take that motion up right now. All of those in favor of reconsidering Senate Bill 8 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? Have all members vote? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 94. Yeas are 94, the nays are 74. The motion carries and the House has reconsidered its action on Senate Bill 8, which will be taking that bill up at a later time. Okay, members, we have a lot of work to get done today, but we're going to take a little break. This House will be in recess for lunch. We'll come back at 1:15, but I'm going to recognize the Majority Leader for an announcement at this time. Leader Estration is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The committee chairman's lunch will be upon the break in room 403 of the Capitol.
Before I recognize Chairman Parrish, members, I want you to join me in recognizing a dear friend who came in when the greatest class of this House came in the class of 2005, along with myself, Sheila Jones, and our good friend Terry England, who was here last week. Former Representative Jim Cole, the athletic director down at Mercer. Let's make Jim welcome. We have one other announcement. Chairman Parrish is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask the members of the Rules Committee to meet me at 12:45 in room 341, please.
What time did you say, Chairman? 12:45. Wait a minute, we have one more. Representative Cummins needs to make an announcement. Members, give the lady in the well your attention. Representative Cummins is recognized.
Cobb delegation will meet in room 510 immediately upon adjournment. Thank you.
Rules at 12:45. This House, we will recess until 1:15 p.m. 1:15 p.m. We will be taking some page photos now, so if you have a page, I invite you to come down. We'll take some page photos during the lunch break. This House will stand in recess until 1:15 p.m.